So welcome again to Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living, and I just want to shout out somebody real quick before we get into the talk. And the person I want to shout out is my soul brother, Sekou Wright, who is sitting right there, who traveled to be with us today from Manhattan. And I am just so happy, Sekou, that you are here. I love you. So, joyous July. Joyous July, yes? We are in a joyous July. And one of the things that I like to do when we start a new month is to see what is being observed for the month, like what day it is. And does anyone else do that?
Yep.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Because we're weirdos.
That's right.
Yeah, 'cause we're weirdos. So that's what weirdos do. So I checked to see what is being celebrated or recognized for July. We just completed June. We had Pride Month. We had Black Music Month. We had Stroke Awareness Month, right, for June. So check this out for July. July is National Minority Mental Awareness Month.
Wow.
Did not know that.
Wow.
Family Reunion Month. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Month. Hot Dog Month. Anti-Boredom Month. Make a Difference for Children Month. And that's just to name a few. And then they have like observances for every single day. I said, who is doing all this? Right? It's a lot. So we know Independence Day is on July 4th. But did you know that today is World UFO Day?
Oh, no.
Today is National I Forgot Day. And some other days that are coming up are National Kissing Day on July 6th. That's going to be a hot mess. My favorite, World Chocolate Day, is July 7th. We going in on that day, yes. National Free Slurpee Day is on July 11th. And guess what? All the 7-Elevens and gas stations give free Slurpees on July 11th. Who knew? Who knew? I'm not a Slurpee person, but I'm going in on that chocolate. And yesterday was International Joke Day. So, you'll bear with me because I'm going to share a joke. We are in a comedy club, right?
Yes.
So why not share a joke? And I've been wanting to from the very first Sunday that we were here. All right, so I cannot take credit for this joke. So if it bombs, it's not me. Let me take this off, because this is how the comics do it.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a monastery in Tibet, perched high in the mountains, and you have to hike for almost a day to get to the base of the cliff. And as you go up the cliff, it's mist. You can hardly see anything. So to get to the entrance, once you get to the cliff, you have to go into a basket. And the basket starts to pull you up. There's monks at the top, and they're pulling you up with a rope to the top to get to the entrance of the monastery. So it's very, very steep, and being in this basket is terrifying. So one of the travelers, he got exceedingly nervous about halfway up because he looked at the rope and saw that it was coming apart. It was really coming apart. It was a really old rope. So with a trembling voice, he asked the monk who was in the basket with him, "How often do you change this rope?" The monk looked at him, looked at the rope, thought about it for a moment, and then he answered, "Whenever the rope breaks." Yeah, I like that. So, our theme our theme for July is speaking truth to circumstances. And I just want to share CSL's summary for the theme. CSL says, speaking truth to circumstances is a reboot of the phrase, speaking truth to power. Everyone's heard that phrase, speaking truth to power. Spirit is the only power. What people really mean when using this phrase is speaking truth to control or circumstances. Circumstances are never the truth, with a capital T. And our message today is Monsters, Inc. Has anyone seen that movie?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I've never seen it. So I spent a little time this week watching Monsters, Inc. So I just want to share a little bit about the story. So Monsters Incorporated is the largest energy factory in Monstropolis, which is the monster world. And they are facing an energy crisis, right? And their main source of power, since y'all seen it, what's their main source of power? Huh? Screams, right? The screams of children, which I was horrified by. But anyway, and so the children's screams are becoming less and less because the children have bigger fears in the world. And this is causing an energy crisis on Monstropolis, right? So I had to pause right there when I was watching the movie. And I thought about it. The children have bigger things that they are afraid of in their world. And I thought about my children, right? Our children, and the bigger things that they are afraid of in the world now. So one of the things that I know that my children are concerned about in the world are climate change, the continuous assault on black and brown bodies, the banning of books, the attack on true history. And when I think about the Supreme Court has become a monster in and of itself. The Supreme Court ruling that reversed Roe versus Wade. Growing up, I had a poster. When I was 16, when I was my girl's age, I had a poster of Prince hanging on my wall. My daughter Zola has a poster on her wall that says, "Bands off my body, support women's rights."
Wow.
Okay? This is what our children are in fear of. These are the monsters that they are dealing with today. And then recently, the Supreme Court decision that reversed aspects of affirmative action, right? They struck down all racial and ethnic preferences in college admissions. However, they kept legacy status. They kept being on the dean's interest list. They kept athletic recruits. And they kept, if you're a child of an employee at the college, you have a leg up also. So basically, this Supreme Court ruling benefits students who are already privileged. Yes?
Yes.
And these are scary decisions that will have monstrous impacts on our children's future. So back to Monstropolis. So, fewer scares equal fewer scares equal fewer screams, which is causing the energy crisis. The energy is captured by capturing the children's screams. And so there's a top scream collector. You remember who that was? This movie was out in 2001, so I don't expect you to remember who it was.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute. So the monster's name is James P. Sullivan, a.k.a. Sullivan, right? They call him Sully, right? And he's voiced by John Goodman. And he's a huge monster. He's blue, He has purple spots and a horn, and his best friend and assistant is Mike, who's voiced by Billy Crystal. And Mike is a small, green, feisty, opinionated, one-eyed monster. So the monsters enter the human world through a portal door that leads directly into the children's bedrooms. And each monster is assigned a child that they scare every night, right? Sully happens to capture the longest and the loudest screams. So he is monster numero uno, right? The ironic thing is that these monsters are also afraid of the children, right? And so if a child touches them, or if any of the children's items touch them, they are considered contaminated, and they have to be decontaminated, right? And that door is no longer accessible. They destroy the door. So no monster will ever go through that door again. Right? Is this coming back to y'all? Okay. I gotta shift gears. I'm glad I followed my mind. Sekou the other day said that I'm really good at following my intuition.
Yes.
And all of my technology is acting up today. And my mind said, print out your notes. And my other mind said, girl, you don't have time for that, you gotta go. But I listened to my intuition. So I have my notes because my laptop just did something weird. So. Where were we? Okay, so we know that the monsters are afraid of the children, and we know that if any of them are touched, they are contaminated. So one day, Sully goes into the factory, and the door, there's one door there. And he's like, why is this door there? And he opens the door, and he enters into a child's bedroom. But there's no child there, which is odd. He turns around, and there's the child. Where's the child? In the monster world. And he is horrified. Horrified, one, that the child is in monster world. Horrified, two, because he's horrified of children. He's scared. And this little child, who's about 2 years old, decides that Sully is the best thing since dark chocolate. And she wants to play with him. And Sully is doing his best to get away from her. But she's relentless. She is relentless. She is going to have her some Sully love if it's the last thing she does. So over time, Sully's heart melts, and he begins to love this little girl who he named Boo, because Boo would yell boo to scare Sully, right? Now there's another monster whose name is Randall, and Randall is jealous of Sully. Randall wants to be the top scream collector, and Randall is assigned to this little girl, and he decides he's going to kidnap her, use her to test a new machine that will transform the way that they collect screams. And it will make him very wealthy, and it will make the CEO of Monsters, Inc. very wealthy also. So he goes about plotting to kidnap Boo, and that's why the door was there, right? Sully finds out about this plot, and he wants to protect the little girl, and he wants to get the little girl back into the door portal, which has suddenly disappeared because of Randall. So after a while, they figure out a way to stop Randall. I'm jumping ahead here, y'all. They figure out a way to stop Randall, Mike, Sully, and Boo, like foil the whole plot and save not only Boo, but also save their world, because Sully discovered that laughter was more powerful than screams. He's with Boo one day and made her laugh unknowingly, and when she laughed, it was a power surge. And he was like, oh, what's happening? And this would happen every time she laughed. So Sully transformed Monsters, Inc., because the CEO got ousted, Randall got ousted, by laughter. So instead of terrifying the children, the monsters would make the children laugh. Right? So Sully and Monsters World was faced with a circumstance, right? This energy shortage, right? It was a condition that they were faced. But the truth of the matter was deeper than what the appearance was. The truth of the matter was that there is a solution when we are in our joy, when we are accessing the deepest part of ourselves that connect each other to each other. And I just found this a really clever way that this movie, whoever wrote it, it's a Pixar movie, used that scenario to demonstrate that we are bigger than our circumstances, and that love is always the answer, no matter what. No matter what, love is always the answer. So I want to share 3 lessons that I gleaned from the movie that speaks to our topic, our theme for the month, speaking truth to circumstances. And Chris invited us to bring forth circumstances in our lives and to write a truth statement about that circumstance. And Chris, we are like right here, because that is what we're going to do. We're going to get there. So let me share lesson 1. Shift your perspective. Lesson 1. A shift in perspective changes the way we see our circumstances. Sometimes we get so connected, so obsessed with what we see with these eyes, our physical eyes, that we don't think that there's another way to see something through our spiritual eyes, to shift our perspective using our spiritual eyes. Yes? So Sully shifted his perspective about children. He was terrified of them, thought they were toxic even, right? And that shift in perspective saved his world, in essence. That shift in perspective got him in touch with the joy within him. The monsters are now allowing the children to just laugh. And that is saving their world. What in your world can you shift that will save you today? What perspective can you shift that will save you, that will power you up? Yes? So that's 1. Second lesson. Laughter is a healing power.
Yes.
Laughter is a healing power. They do research on laughter. There's laughter yoga, right? In addition to goat yoga, which I really don't get.
It was great.
Amy can testify to goat yoga. Okay. So laughter, right? Ernest Holmes says this about laughter in his book, Ideas of Power. There is a laughter of God. There is a laughter of God. So let's laugh it. Let's laugh the laughter of God. Right? So Sully discovered that laughter is a power source of connection. That laughter connected him, not just to Boo, but to everything. To everything, right? So what circumstances can you hold lighter with laughter in your life? Does anyone have a circumstance that's like a burden, is so heavy? You can even cry about it. You're like scared about it. Can you apply the healing elixir of laughter to that circumstance? 3. Love conquers all. Love conquers all. All of our circumstances are temporary. Every last one of our circumstances are temporary. It might feel like it's not. It might feel like this is the worst thing ever. It may feel like it's going to last forever, but it's temporary. What is permanent is the truth with a capital T. What is permanent is love. Love is permanent. So Sully connected to the truth through this realization and this revelation of love. And where did he find this love? How was this love reflected back to him? Through Boo. So we need each other. We need each other to access this deep truth of love. And we get to reflect it back to each other. The best friendships that I have, and one is sitting right over there, are the people who don't let me wallow in my stuff. Yeah. They're the people who show me that there is a light. Not just a light at the end of the tunnel, but a light within me. And that they see that light. And they reflect that light back to me through the power of love. So love conquers all. Our fears can become like monsters if we allow it to hold on to us. If we allow the fear to be our source of energy. Guess what? It will drain your life. It will drain your life. Allowing the circumstance of the day, of the month, of the year, of the decade, whatever, focusing on that will drain you. Focusing on love, that will power you up like nothing can. So love conquers all. And Ernest Holmes writes in The Science of Mind that without love, nothing can be accomplished. Yes. But with love, all things are possible. Yes, yes. All things are possible. So the monsters feared Sully. The monsters feared the children. Some of the children feared the monsters, but not Boo. Sully had no idea that when he walked through that door that was the portal to Boo, but not just the portal to Boo, it was the portal to love. It was the portal to love. He walked through that doorway into love. Yes. So our circumstances could be a portal, our doorway to love. To love. Whatever the circumstances, walk through the door. Walk through the circumstance. Some of us take a chair and we sit in the circumstance. We sit in it. We lay down in it. Right? Get a blanket and a pillow. But no, keep walking. Keep walking through that door. Keep walking through that door to the truth of who you are. Who you are is love. Who you are is love. So when Boo saw Sully, she saw love. She saw love. And she helped Sully to recognize the love that he is, because love conquers all. So the experiences of our circumstances, I really invite you to see them as a doorway. Don't ignore it, right? Don't run away from it. Open the door. Walk in. Love is right there with you, never leaving your side. And see what is there for you. The truth is there for you. Always. Always. So what are we going to do about this? Because I love our themes. However, the themes is not just a theme for Sunday. The theme is something that we can incorporate and use every single day, at least for the month. So this is what I invite you to do. Think about a monster, something that's like a monster in your life right now. A circumstance that you may be regarding as a monster in your life right now. Does everybody have something? Okay. I see most of the hands are up. What door are you afraid to open and walk through because you don't know what's on the other side? Can you identify, can you name the circumstance? Can you name the fear? If the door was right in front of you, what word would be on that door? Does everybody have a word? Okay. So how do we confront this? How do we walk through this door? We walk through this door through the power of truth, by speaking truth to the circumstance, by creating our own truth statement. So your truth may have come up for you when Chris was guiding us through the meditation. So this is what I would like for you all to do. Everyone has a cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Take out your cell phones.
Okay.
Open up the Notes app or somewhere where you can write something down into your cell phone. Okay? So we're going to create our very own truth statement. And I shared one a couple of months ago that I've been using. Moving forward, nothing but good shall come forth from this. That's a truth statement. I'm going to share a couple of others just to give you some ideas. Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, he has a meditation chapter, and it's filled with these truth statements. One is, if your circumstance is indecisiveness, a truth statement is, perfect intelligence directs my thoughts. Perfect intelligence directs my thoughts. If your circumstance is confusion, a truth statement can be, I do know the truth and I am free. And I'll share one other that's probably common. A circumstance of finances, right? A truth statement can be, abundance is my inheritance. Abundance is my inheritance. So let's remember that all circumstances are temporary, but love is permanent. So it's time for us to speak truth to our circumstance. So just take a moment and just go within for just a moment. Get in touch with that circumstance. See it. See it as a door, a portal. Allow yourself to open that door, knowing that you have truth and love as your anchor. Take a deep breath. And on your cell phone, type in your truth statement. Keep it brief. Keep it affirming. Keep it in the present. It's like writing an affirmation. So I'll give you a moment to do that. What is your truth statement right now? You can make it funny too if you want to. Okay, everybody has something? Anybody want to share theirs? Chris?
I am safe in the arms of God's love.
I am safe in the arms of God's love. Yes, you are, Chris. How about one more? Say cool.
The truth of my living situation is so good, it's beyond the power of my thinking.
Woo. The truth of my living situation is so good that it is beyond the power of my thinking. All right, yes, yes, yes. So whatever your true statement is, this is the invitation to affirm it every single day for the month of July. Because this is how we get to anchor ourselves in the teaching. It's not just about Sunday and coming to service. It's about what we do when we walk out that door, right? Every single day. So it doesn't take long to say your true statement. And I'm saying just say it at least once a day. At least once a day. Attach it to something. Every time you look in the mirror, say your true statement. You're getting ready to brush your teeth. Say your true statement. Your hand is on a doorknob. That's a good one. Say your true statement. Every time you lay down, say your true statement. Before you get out the bed, say your true statement. But attach it to something that you do on a regular basis, because that will anchor it for you. Yes?
Yes.
And it doesn't take long. I timed out the true statement. Moving forward, nothing but good shall come forth from this. It took 3.81 seconds.
Wow.
Right? Because I said it really fast that time, but we're not going to say it as fast as I just said it. We're going to say it intentionally with feeling. We're going to feel it. Okay? You're with me?
Yes.
Every day for the month of July.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. So let's close this. I want to close this with a quote that I found from Emmett Fox. He said, "Many people look upon the change with dread and foreboding. But for those on the spiritual path, change is a fuller expression of life. When a problem, circumstance, or condition arises in your life, that indicates a change. Rely upon God and realize that it is not so much that a door has closed on a chapter in your life, but rather that a door has opened on new and more interesting things." But we won't know that unless we open the door and we walk through the portal with love. Peace and blessings, everyone.